want to know your opinion. We want to share. It's not just two dads in real life, it's all of us in real life. Bing, bang, boom. The red light is on.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dads in Real Life.
Yes, life. I like the echo. That was good.
I should get into voiceover work. I think that'd be pretty fun. I wanted to do that when I was a kid.
Hey, there was a moment I was on along the same path. I was like, man, that would be a pretty cool job, but I don't have any closets without clothes in them. So that's the thing. Small
The
space
clothes are
recording.
the clothes are what dampen the sound. So
That is true. I've done some like voiceover and audio recordings in the closet. It works very well. Works very well.
we're just out in the open right now, but mics are
Mhm.
so fancy these days.
They
Sounds
are.
pretty
We got
crisp.
fancy mics. It does sound very nice.
Clear. So today I want to hear from you, Rob.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
curious because um, I have a couple little splashes of metaphorical snacks for us before we get into the meat and potatoes today. Okay,
Gotcha.
so my shower thought for not today. I guess I had it a few days ago, but I wrote it down,
Mhm.
and it is. I've realized my my brain is most productive at a certain point in the day. And I don't know
Oh
if
yeah.
there's any science behind this. So if somebody's really scientific out there and knows about the brain, let me know.
Mhm.
Um, but if you could think of like an hour of your day where you are most productive, I think you know which one yours is. What is your
Oh yeah.
most productive hour?
So there's two types of production, right? One's going to be like cognitive, as in like mental work, right? And the
Yes.
other
Yes.
one's
Yes.
going to be more like physical work.
Ooh, okay. I'm thinking
So
mental. This is what I
okay,
want to specifically step into mental at the moment.
okay. So subdivision. There's also mental work as far as like what I would categorize as business work, and then there's creative work. So I have two different hours. I haven't done the creative
Ooh.
work in a while, right? But the busy work's gonna be first thing in the morning. My best hour is probably 5:30 to 6:30. I'd extend that out for another 2 to 3 hour block because I usually work within 2 to 3 hour blocks. But that's the time that I get the most kind of checklist work done, right? As far as with work or home, that's where I have very little decision fatigue because I slept well and I
Yeah.
make my best decisions in the morning. Creative work, though, I have a track record of doing better late at night. So I wouldn't categorize myself as an early riser or a night owl. I just naturally veer to both sides depending on what I want to do, right? So back in the day, college, did a lot of art. That's going to be late night, like early in the morning, kind of late night. But that's where I felt most creative. Whereas in the mornings, I feel most focused for focus work, right? Be it big tackling big boulders like we talked about before, organizing the day, or checking off some big problems that I've had either with work, or what I mean by problems is like bottlenecks. So, how about
Yeah.
yourself? What hour of the day do you find yourself most productive or most focused?
I just want to know. Love that we had some subcategories for that, of course. And I'm gonna ride that train
Go
and
for it.
go with okay. So my most productive, as far as checking things off the list time goes, is also
Mhm,
the morning.
mhm.
However, I don't get up as early as you. Um, one day we'll get there. In this season of life, I mean, I'm up early enough, but I got things to do, right? So
Yeah.
I guess that my productive time, or at least the time that I feel most productive, is the morning, and that can range, but usually like between like 9 and 11, like
Mhm.
doing even 8 to 11, 9 to 11. We'll say that is like
I like
getting
it.
things done time. Like if I'm working on a project outside, or I have some, painting to do, or I
Mhm.
don't know, like I just got to get it done. I guess you
Yeah.
could say physically, even then, like that would be the sweet time.
Nice.
But what I've found as far as creativity goes and brain work, like, uh, it's always between 11 AM and noon
Oh
that
wow.
my brain goes off, which is a bummer because sometimes I'm like, "Man, if only I was podcasting from, like, 11:30 to 12:30, I'd be like, oh, man, I'd be on
It'd
fire."
be so much better. No, I'm just kidding.
We
Go
missed
on.
the sweet spot, but guess what? All my notes I write down during that time, and then
Exactly.
here we are.
There you go.
So, um, yeah, I don't know what that's all about. I guess, like, just based off my schedule,
Yeah.
inevitably, I get into that thought process around that time. And that's when
And it's
I'm
natural rhythms. Maybe your body, like over the years, have just gotten used to being needed on that type of work at that time that that became your bubble, right? So if you look back in the last year, 5 years of doing kind of the checklist or the creative work, it might have just always ended up. Maybe the kids napped right before that time. Maybe that's right before your hour, and that's when you got a bulk work done. So if you look back at your track record, there's probably signs of why you work best at those hours.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to think that through, see what it is, what the cause and effect,
Yeah.
is. So that's interesting. Guys, I wanna know, everybody, what's your most productive time of day?
Mhm.
S Lay it out in the
And
comments.
even if you work like, let's say, the traditional 9 to 5, right? You get into the office or wherever you're working, you'll still find during that 8 hour gap, there are times that you're way more productive and focused, and other times where you're kind of checking the clock, right? So,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
part of the day do you find? Some people are in the afternoon after lunch, others are before, some right when they get in, right? Like I used to work with individuals that would show up like 20 minutes early and they would plan their day. Some people would stay 20 minutes later to plan the following day. It's just whatever kind of system works best for you.
If you are productive in the early afternoon after lunch, I don't think you're a
Tell me your
human being.
secrets.
I
Tell
think
me
you
your
might be a
secrets.
robot. So,
Mhm.
people, watch out for those kind of people. They're crazy, unhinged,
Funny.
okay?
That's funny.
So, I had a couple, like, here's what's happening lately kind of
Mhm.
things. One of those is I was moving our trampoline in the backyard,
And it's not one of those
and
mini one-person trampolines, by the way. This is like a family
yeah, it's like a family
trampoline.
size trampoline. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't made the space for where it's supposed to go yet, so it's on our lawn, but I am trying to care for this grass because it is new and it will stay that way.
Yeah.
And I move it around. So I keep getting these like kind of fresh circular patches. It helps. It actually helps the lawn rest. So
Yes.
but I digress. I was moving it and I like heard this like weird rustling noise and I was like, "Oh, there's a bunch of like leaves and stuff from the trees all caught up in this like it was a basketball hoop that was attached to it, but it's kind of like all crunched up. Like not like a hard backboard one, it's like a canvas, right? So it kind of had
Gotcha.
broken in frames. So it's just like loose canvas sitting there. And I go and I grab it and it crunches a little bit. I'm like,
Mhm.
what that's a lot of stuff, and I peek inside, and it's a bird's nest,
Oh, no
and there's
way.
eggs in there. I didn't
Oh,
crunch the
no
eggs,
way.
everything's
Okay,
fine.
good. Whew.
It's like a quail,
And you didn't
or
make contact
oh.
with the hand? So
Yeah, I
that's good.
didn't touch the eggs, like, I didn't touch
Good.
the inside of the nest, so it's all good. The mama bird was, like, right nearby, I noticed,
Oh, I'm sure she was
and
watching.
and she's, like, right on it now. So every time I walk past, we have an agreement, an
Mhm.
understanding. She doesn't fly away, I don't mess with her, and she just stares at me. So
Yep. Eye
but now I'm
contact.
like, "Geez," like, well, now I can't jump on the trampoline because 'cause I'm like, I'm not gonna dislodge these eggs, but also when I'm
Yeah.
moving it, I'm like, "Please don't freak out, but also could you hatch these puppies quick because
Yeah.
that was not
Can
an
we move
ideal
on?
place."
No.
That's the thing, I'm like, this has happened to me before." There's, like, a bird's nest and a branch that I wanna cut down, because spring cleaning, the
Yep.
weather's better. Well, they're all laying their eggs then. So
It's a timing thing. It's that we have the same thing. We have a couple nests around our house where it's like, I'd love to clean it out. Or right when you think it's empty, another group of birds kind of take over. And so you're like, okay, we got to restart the clock.
yep, and so I wanna use this as a little, like, time to let the kids see it too, though, because it's actually you can get to it, so I can lift the kids up and they can see it, which is kind of fun. Because usually it's way up in a tree, so
Yeah. It's like going to the museum, but it's in your backyard, right? So you can actually see them.
yeah. So I'll
Very
give us
cool.
an update later on the bird
Yes.
situation.
We're going to need some
Um,
photos, like
yeah,
little
yeah, I have
clips.
a video, I can put it over my audio, so there you go.
Yeah, voiceover. Perfect.
So fun. Um I'll have to name the birds. Once I
Mhm.
see them with my eyeballs, I should be able to just tell, like, "Oh, that's probably a boy or a girl," and I'll give them
Yeah.
names, and
I like how
then
Travis can
we'll
eyeball that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
You
I
look
was,
like a Larry.
I
You
was a
look like a
veteran
Larry.
in my, a veterinarian in my imagination once, so that qualifies me. I
There you go.
can't even say veterinarian,
That's
so,
dad logic right there.
ah, okay, so that's what's going on. Um, also Another segment, product review.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of Trader Joe's,
Yep.
and
Ooh, what do we got?
we
What do
have
we got?
some newer-ish items that I've noticed, and one of them is this garlic butter nut mix.
Ooh, just the fact that it starts with garlic butter, I'm sold.
You know
So,
what? I saw it and I was like, I don't know, that's might be a little heavy. I'm gonna tell
ooh,
you right
yeah,
now,
that's true.
it's not too much. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Subtle.
Just right. Okay. So,
Just right.
just right.
And it reminds me a little bit of like, you remember Gardettos? You know, like the
I
mix?
do. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's a picture on the other side. Look, they show you the picture. There's a
There
lot
you
of
go.
nuts in there. So if you're not a fan of like,
Mixed
well,
nuts,
the
probably want to
mixed
pass.
nuts, then yeah, maybe pass. But yeah,
So
so
are those shareable with the family or are those yours? So that's another thing. Like, is it
well,
open
I mean,
season, whoever wants them, or
technically they're shareable, but I bought them and I ate half the can last night, and
if you
then
guys are if you guys are
I was
listening to this, Travis is holding up an empty can. It's not half a can. It's an
there's
empty
like
can.
there's like 5 nuts
You
left.
can count how many nuts are left. Like there's only like 7.
This is what you should do before, but look at how many servings are in a cup. 9 servings. So I had 4.5 servings last night, and I had
Four and a
3
half
and
this morning. Perfect.
yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, so not for the family, I guess. Maybe you should get a can per person in your family. I mean, that's really how you should buy Trader Joe's stuff anyways.
I think that's subtly Trader Joe's version of quantity control, right? They could have made that like Christmas gallon size, but the fact that they made it like 1 cup, right? Like the actual container,
It's because Trader
they
Joe's
knew,
cares.
yeah, they knew dads were gonna be like, "Oh, I'll take 5 of those." Right.
Yeah. So it might make me burp on the episode, but my next one is the
What do we got?
prebiotic. I don't know why people are saying prebiotic now. Apparently, that's not really a thing. I have a friend who's a nutritionist.
Prebiotic,
He's like, why do they call
probiotic,
it
yeah.
prebiotic? It's a probiotic. It doesn't it nothing's pre about it.
We could
So
just call it biotic. Just
biotic. It
take the
is
piss of
it's a biotic soda because this is all the rage now. Everybody has a probiotic
Really?
soda
That's
if you
true.
haven't
If you
noticed.
go into anywhere, there's pretty much a prebiotic drink or probiotic drink.
Yeah. So this one's cherry cola, and let me tell
Ooh,
you,
nice.
oh, it's got a nice it tastes just like cherry Coke,
I was gonna
basically.
ask. I was a
But
big fan growing up with cherry Coke, so
only 5 grams of sugar.
yeah, that's not too bad for a soda. It's not too
Hey,
bad.
yeah, for a sweet soda, it tastes real sweet. So I'm gonna give you a
Mhm.
little ASMR here for a sec. Okay, you ready for
Yep.
this? We're gonna get a little
Let's hear it.
as
Nicely
I
done.
shot that on my keyboard. Let me
Nicely.
just wipe that off. Okay, and then we'll give a little I don't think the mic can hear this. Also,
Oh, you are cut off, sir. You did the one thing that we don't do. If you're watching this on video, Travis is going berserk, but we don't touch the cable on the mic or the cable will not work. I think this is kind of like it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Like that's how serious this is.
what did you just say? Hosey lotion? What?
So this is one of those things where like it is so serious not to touch the cable. It reminds me of the scene where the guy is saying, it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Right. Silence of the Lambs reference if you haven't watched it. So
Oh, yeah, no, you know what? I did not know what you were talking about. And I think I watched Silence of the Lambs like a long time ago.
long time
And
ago. Yes.
I don't remember that. Yeah, so I'm like, what? Sorry, what did you just say?
Why is Rob talking about lotion or
Okay,
Cherry Cola?
I want to try it again. I want
Okay.
this, I
Okay.
want this to tilt.
It'll pick it up. You got to be close enough, but it'll pick
Yeah,
it
but
up.
it's gonna drop. I think I'm gonna drop out again. This is
Oh,
interesting.
oh my goodness. It's like Jenga for podcasters
Yeah,
right here.
slow.
He's
Okay,
moving
okay,
his
okay,
mic.
okay, okay. Okay,
Okay, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
here we go. You ready?
Ooh, I'm gonna send you your audio version because it did pick it up. It did pick it up pretty well.
That's a flippin' sweet little ASMR setup there. Okay, now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna lose it. Okay,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
still here.
Gambling
No
man.
crazy,
Gambling
no
man.
crazy
Nope, you're
noises.
good. No noises.
Okay, so mm, Travis approved.
There
Cherry
you go.
cola soda.
The
Do you have
bionic
any
cherry
do you
cola.
have any product placement you wanna talk about, Rob? Just to put you on the spot?
As far as Trader Joe's, still heavy on the protein pancakes. I literally clear out at least 3 Trader Joe's every week to the point where they don't ask me. At first, I remember going in, they would ask me, "Is that all of them?" And I would just nod, right? Whereas now they just like, "Oh, right,
Here's
Rob.
Rob.
Hey, Rob.
There
Just me."
there you go. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I did jump on the I don't have a product review yet, but maybe in the future for maybe a tech episode. But I did join the Ray-Ban Meta glasses recording thing. Yes.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I did
Okay.
it specifically. We'll do an episode when I get back, but we're doing an international trip this year, and
Yeah.
I'm using it for its translation part. So I'm really looking forward to see how well that works with the live translation. So
It
maybe we'll
does the new ones do live translation?
put a feather on it, and there is a way where, like, let's say you were speaking a foreign language and you would be talking to me, and it would change it to English in my ear. And then
Yeah.
as I speak English, it would pull up the language on my phone. So I'd be showing the phone to the service provider. And so we're going to put that to the test this year. So that's why I got it. So I'm doing a little playful
Oh,
testing right now before we go on the trip to see if it works out.
well, and not only that, but you're gonna get to have the video of it, and we're gonna put it on the podcast and
Oh,
see
yes, we
how
are.
it
So
held up.
just a little preview. That's the case. That's the case.
Ooh, fancy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Man. Ah, technology, it's so tricky because I get excited and also,
I do too, and I get
depressed at the
let
same
down a lot
time.
too. So
What?
I get let down sometimes too. So I try not to get too excited about new technology because it underwhelms me as far as performance a lot of the times, right? So like you hear about this new thing and you do it, it's like, ah, it's not quite what I thought it would be, and you already put a bunch of money into it. So yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I did a good 3 months of research, so I have a
Yeah.
tendency to go down the rabbit hole before purchasing anything. So
Yeah, 3 months. I mean, that's a good span of time. Usually mine's like
mm.
3 minutes, and I'm like, "I like it."
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yes, please, 1 for me. Um, yeah, yeah, I just well, and, this is the thing too, I'm, like, in my head, I I don't wanna be hypocritical, and I also
Mhm,
don't wanna be lazy, but, it's like AI, I'm like, "Oh, but I need this portion, this is really useful, this is really helpful," but
mhm.
also, "You're brainwashing the children," not really, that's you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that's not I'm not out on the streets saying that,
Yeah,
guys. I'm
there you
just
go.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
I think for
yeah,
me, just because the way I shop, and we've talked about this on a buying episode, I think back. Let's see if I can find it to tag it here. But like when I go to buy something, I walk in, I buy, and I leave. So doing all the research ahead of time means I'm not sitting there like, oh, well, should I get this or the supersized version or maybe the version in red, right? And so I see like when I'm in these, especially tech, more specifically with tech, so many people are like churning their brains trying to do these last minute decisions at the store, whereas like I did all that research from the comfort of my own home.
yeah,
I've got 3 yeses, 1 no. It means we're a go, and so I just walk in and get it. So
yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm well, the moral of the story is we're really pumped for what that's gonna look like. I'm going on an international trip this summer too. It makes me feel like I should buy a pair too. See, there I am. I'm like, "Oh, well," but
there
but
you
but Deb, Rob's got one.
No, don't say that, Deb. I apologize ahead of time. So we're traveling somewhere where my spouse and I we don't speak the language. So that's one of the reasons why we're getting it. If I spoke it or if she spoke one of the native languages, we wouldn't need this. But
Yeah,
we're stepping our foot into open water, so to speak. So we're gonna try it out.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is gonna
But
be
if you
awesome.
need to use me as an excuse for Deb, by all means, you get the dad's pass. So
Yeah, yeah. No, no, my deep dive right now, and you'd be so proud of me. I've been researching
I
it for
am
like
proud of you.
2 weeks now.
Nice.
Is a projector, an outdoor projector, because we want to have like movie
Ooh,
nights outside.
I've been
And
we got to share research. I've been researching that as well, my friend.
oh, okay. Well, let's talk about it for a sec, okay? Because dads
Mhm,
want to know, okay? Some
mhm,
of them. So, for all of you guys that are out there looking for a projector, here's a tricky thing with projectors. There are a
Mhm.
lot of things that you need to know, and I'm not gonna go through them all. But the thing is, if you're going outside, it definitely needs to be bright enough. But then
That's the thing.
also,
Mine's gonna be inside, so it doesn't need to
you're
be as
lucky.
bright, right? Depends on the
You're lucky.
location.
So
Mhm.
I'm not buying the same one you are. So that's the
No, no,
other
no, no.
interesting thing because depending on the size, you
Mhm.
also want to have the clarity, the quality, but the further back you pull that projector, the brighter it needs to be. And
Yes.
so all those things make for basically it's gonna be expensive. That's what I that's what I walked away with was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that was my
shoot.
conclusion too. My conclusion was like, "Okay, Thanksgiving weekend. Got it."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually the goal is to do that. And the excuse that I'm using that everybody can hold me accountable to is we want to host like backyard movie nights. Like it'd be really
That's
fun
perfect.
to like have the community together and have some fun and sit back and
That's
watch a movie.
yeah, that's what we were looking at. We host a lot of dinners and stuff like that, and there's a lot of kids. Like I told you, there's 18 kids amongst like our core group, and so right now, whenever we have it, they're looking at like a little 27 by 27-inch TV, watching Minecraft or something like that. So for us to get something that for the kids, then the parents can kind of do the parenting stuff, right? And the kids,
Yeah,
we know they're watching something. So we've been looking something for the garage more than anything that
nice.
so it's easier, it's lit, we don't need to worry about light so much.
Well, and that's a
But yeah.
neighborhood like connection point because the way
Yes.
your house is laid out, like all the
Yep.
neighbors' garages are
Especially
all
over the
kind of
summers.
nearby.
Yeah, a bunch of the kids come over, especially because it gets later and it's still bright out, like 7, 8 p.m. We're still out. So then we
Yeah,
can host, and we do that with our neighborhood. Like we'll have pizza nights where everyone Venmos each other and we buy a bunch of pizzas and all the neighbors open up their garage. All the kids hang out, the parents kind of hang out as well. So we're looking to add to that experience.
that is super cool. Oh man. Well, another thing that we're gonna have to follow up on. I like this because it's just like, oh hey, let's go, let's talk about it and then see what actually
Mental notes. These
comes.
are just the notes to follow up on.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So okay, change of pace or tone a little bit here.
Okay.
I thought, you know what, we talked about it a year ago. And
Mhm.
so I thought I'd bring it up just because again, yeah, I don't know what the dads out there are dealing with. And we're all
Mhm.
dealing with all sorts of different stuff, right? We've
Mhm.
talked about silly things like what we're talking about now or
Mhm.
earlier, and we talked about serious stuff. We've talked about, everything under the sun. The whole
Yeah.
point is like, let's cover the bases and what fills up the brain of a dad and cover all of those. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yesterday we hit the anniversary of
Mm.
the baby, Deb's miscarriage,
Mm.
and I was reflecting on it, because anniversaries when you lose somebody, the
Mhm.
anniversary is a big thing, from what I had heard,
Mhm.
and I realized quite a few just interesting things that I thought I'd mention. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a point to be made or, this isn't like
No,
an
this is just
answer,
sharing. Yeah.
but yeah, but upon reflection, I thought there were some interesting things, right? Number 1, it's always gonna be harder for your wife
Mhm.
because she held the baby, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's like it's happening with her. And then what I found is the the effects afterwards can last. I mean, they're still there,
Oh, for
you know?
sure. Yeah.
So that's another thing I think it might be easy, maybe for dads to be like, "Well, why," or maybe you're thinking, "Why is this still hitting her so hard?" Or why does it feel like she's off? Or, ever since that happened, this, that, or the other. If you are
Mhm.
potentially in that boat, just know, I guess, from what I've learned, like, through my wife and us talking through it is, um, you you just can't imagine, like, how much is what's going on, like, inside, like, both physically and
Mhm.
emotionally, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I've been really impressed with, Deb's strength through that. I found myself really just thinking yesterday about like, how do I support her in like, we got a date night. Shout out to
Mhm.
Nana, her
Shout
mom
out to
came
Nana.
through,
Yeah.
watch the kids, and we got to go out. So it was nice to just be together
Mhm.
talk and to, yeah, just think through the last year. And for me, I've found like, hey, there have been some, it's very, I feel bad, I guess, in the sense of like, wow, like I can think of a lot of great things, that over the last year. And well, and no, she got to that point too, but like as she was first going through the year, it felt like a lot of defeat just because
Mhm.
of that and other things, right? But like, well, I mean, everything connected to that. So, um, as we worked through that for a few days, like it was neat to hear all that the grief entails. I was
Mhm.
reading, I thought, hey, yesterday I read or listened to A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis.
Mm.
And it's like his like journaling process through losing his wife.
Mhm.
And so I thought, like, I'm just gonna read like on today. I'm gonna like read something about that to kind of put me in that mind that space
Mhm.
and maybe help. And it's interesting to see even like somebody, as super smart as he was,
Yeah.
like to see him go through the process of grief of like, anger and questioning and just like you just like want to fight someone, sometimes almost. And then you kind of get to this point where you're like, but perspective, whatever that is, right? Right. Like, oh, but so, and then, to just be able to sit with her and let like just realize like, or to go through that process, I think was I can't think of the right word, but it was fruitful,
Mhm.
to see her get to this point where like, but also like this happened and this happened. And um, so I don't know where I'm going with that, but it was just like, hey, a year ago today, or like almost today, we talked about going through that process, right?
Yeah,
And
and
so,
now you're reflecting on that process because it's a
yeah,
year later,
yeah.
and kudos to you, like, kinda walking remotely alongside, like, I think the biggest if there were a takeaway, and again, this is just sharing, right? I think if there was a takeaway is I'm just so blown away by you and Deb's, communication. Right?
Mm,
That connection, that foundation of your relationship, even prior to kids, right, still rings true. And I think the highs and lows of life happens, right? Roller coasters, but I think it's much harder when you think you're going through it alone. And
mm,
when you have that communication, you're not alone, right? Because you're constantly checking in. And I think, as a tangent, and this works with grief across the board depending on what version, but like what should you do as a partner that may not be feeling it? Like I don't have that answer. I don't think anyone has the answer. You can talk about your experiences, right? But I think one thing, if I've read recently about helping others, maybe outside of the framework of grief, but just do the thing, right? So instead of like asking like, well, let me know if you need anything, right? Or how can I help? Just do the thing you think you were going to do, right? So if that's scheduling a date night like you did, right? Just schedule a date night. Or maybe it's a family friend that's going through a rough time and just buying the groceries. Don't ask if you need to buy the groceries, just do the thing. I think that is another way that you can show love and support without checking the box, because I think we get caught up with, am I doing this right? Yeah, I want to be a supportive spouse or a supportive friend, but am I doing this right? So don't worry about if you're doing it right. Just worry if you're doing it right. So just make sure that you're doing something. So,
you don't
um,
know, you don't even know how you walked yourself right into that segue. Because what I wanted to also say was,
there you go.
you know what? I you guys don't even know. If you don't know Rob, well, number 1, you should, but also if Rob is your friend, you're a lucky person because you know what? He's gonna make sure that you feel seen and that you are
Oh,
loved.
for sure.
And when I looked back on my photos,
Mhm.
and sure enough, a couple days later, there was this,
Oh
yeah, I'm
yeah.
still holding up a picture of a care package. Rob didn't think literally, like, 2 days after I told him, this box full of toys for the kids and, activities shows up. And so I appreciate you, Rob, because that was the first
Of
memory
course.
that I had as I was looking through there of, oh, and they're still, two of those things are still, I mean,
I
one
was
of them
gonna
is
say,
chocolate, that's gone.
yeah.
But the other, it wasn't, man, you didn't even skip either, like, this epic Transformer
Hey, I knew he
husband
was gonna
chat
love it,
to this day.
so
He was like, well, also, and you know what, rabbit hole, the batteries died, and I was kinda like, "Should I replace them?"
I know it's loud. I must say that it's loud.
But it's still a staple. So, but yeah, like, I would 100% say yes to what you just said, right? Just do the thing.
Mhm.
Because otherwise you second guess yourself, and then a lot of times you end up just not doing it, and then you feel bad about it, like,
Exactly,
it's
you
this
did this
whole.
whole run around in your head where all you were trying to do is be there for a friend, right? And
Yeah,
so, yeah, I
yeah.
think a lot of times we're waiting for permission to do the right thing. Like, you don't need permission to do the right thing because 'cause it'll always be seen as the right thing, no matter who's receiving or giving, right?
Yep. So, we've continued to learn a lot. Um, we've continued to talk through what that looks like, for our family for the future. And also we're super grateful for our community that we have around us, physically and proverbially,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I found myself just wondering, like, oh, how am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to respond?
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, I feel like I've kind of, I felt all those feels back when it happened,
Mhm.
and it just life moves so quickly, I don't want to feel uh like I don't feel guilty about, like, not being sad anymore, right? Or
Mm.
whatnot. But it's I think it's a gift to have that perspective and to be able to
Mhm.
look back and go, okay, um this is what I learned, and this is how I can empathize with others, and um, so on and so forth. So,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I just thought I'd shout that out since that was it's been a year. So, and how fast a year flies by.
Man,
Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy,
it's
and I always joke with you, if we didn't have kids, we wouldn't be able to tell time. Right? Like, it's because we have kids, we're like, "Oh my goodness, you're 5? Like, you were just born." Right? So, I mean,
yeah,
we've got a kid going into high school now, which is so weird, right?
it's crazy.
Our goddaughter, is in college, which is so weird. She was a baby at my wedding, so it's like, man, I think God really does give us kids to keep track of our time, and in both obvious ways, right? They're getting older, but also indirect ways of remembering, like, why we're here, what we're supposed to be shepherding these kids, right? Like, that's our job. So, like, hey, still here 5 years later, right? Hey, going off to high school, dad, need some help. So yeah, it's a weird transition. I'm thankful for all of it. It's not, and we've talked about this too. It's like parenting stress never goes away. And it's funny, like, I have in-laws. I was like, it's easier now, right? It's like, no, it is not easy. It's different. That's all it is. It's different. And because it's different means I constantly need to be open and aware and learning, because how I treated them when they were kids, toddlers, is not how you treat a middle schooler or a high schooler. So
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least it's frowned upon. I mean, I've tried, but it does not
Yeah,
work.
there you go. There you go. Oh, man. Well, look at us. Man, we're covering a lot of ground here, and we gotta
Yeah.
get to the meat and potatoes. Because if
Okay.
how it goes, if you eat too many snacks, well, then you're not gonna wanna eat your dinner.
You're not gonna get to the main course. Yes.
We need the people to get their meat and potatoes. Okay? So,
Okay.
um, today, to touch base on a topic that I am still in process of learning, experiencing,
There you go.
doing, all the things. Um, I wrote this down a little while back. Let's not sugarcoat it. Swapping roles in parenting is really, really tough. And
Mhm.
what I mean by that is there are, like, maybe, okay, so everybody has a different kind of expectation of what they are going to do, like, when
Their
they
role.
find their person, and
Mhm.
they go off, and you're like, 10 years go by, and like, hey, I'm gonna do like these things in our marriage, and you're gonna do these things. and so on and so forth, right? And we
Mhm,
talked about a lot of that, like, when we got before Deb and I got married,
mhm.
um,
We
we
did too.
had expectations and thoughts, and we were like, "Yep, yep, yep, did this, we're gonna do this." And we
Mhm.
communicated about it. We were like, "Hey, okay, great." And then, yeah, God had other plans.
Things change.
Things
Things change.
changed.
Yeah.
And so here we are. I'm like 4.5 years in,
Yeah.
doing the full-time dad life, and Deb is out there working.
Mhm,
And so, it was an easy decision at the time because it was like, hey, she's the one who's has the most tenure in her job, and so she is like, there's no way I can touch her pay. So
yeah, her
as
stat
the
she's
main, as the primary breadwinner in that regard, like, um, well, the decision is I go to work and that just barely pays for childcare, or we
mhm,
grow up and or like the kids grow up with one of us home, and that is me. So here we go.
good decision, by the
And
way. Just wanna point that
yeah,
out.
I highly recommend it. I think it's fantastic. I was just talking to a friend at the gym this morning, and she was like, "How do you guys pull that off?" I was like, "Well, the first thing you need to know is uh, the the cost of childcare is insane."
Mhm.
So, um, it was like,
Es
at first I
especially if
felt
you're
like,
working just for the cost of childcare, right? There's,
yeah,
like, no
yeah,
net positive. It's literally just to pay for the childcare, then might as well you be the parent. Like, just be the parent at home, right? It's the same
yeah,
cost either way.
yeah, yeah. So, obviously, once the kids get into school, that changes things up a bit,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
we go from there. But, the season that we are in now is that this is how we are living. Therefore,
Mm,
um, yeah, how do you do all the things that you didn't expect that you were going to do? Um, I this is the thing, we're all growing, and we can choose to just put our heads in the dirt and not go anywhere, which actually is bringing you down on the graph if you're looking
mhm,
at it and you're like, "Oh, me growing." Or you can take one step and put it in front of the other, and grow and go somewhere.
mhm,
And so this is my journey as of late, as of the last few years, has been this constant kind of like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
mhm.
Nope, that didn't work. Okay. This is
Well,
what I'm doing.
I think, like, as perspective, because I've been following along this journey, right, of
Yeah.
yours. I think from someone watching from the outside, and this metaphor may hit or may not, but I really do think as a dad, like, one, yes, we're innately once you have kids, there's this love and bond there that may take some time to grow, right? May not be there initially. But then the role of being the dad, in the context where we grew up in, right? Whereas the breadwinner coming back, baseball practice, like that white picket fence view is not a reality for a lot of us, right? And in this chapter of your life of being the dad at home, the only thing that kind of makes sense for me in this is like it's going for a job that you didn't go to college for, right? So you might have studied to be an accountant, right? And you got out and you tried accounting, but you didn't like it. So I'm gonna go into design. Do I have any understanding of design? No. Well, I got to learn, right? So first year on the job, hey, I'm dropping the ball a lot, but I'm here. I want to be here. I want to do this, right? So then as the years pass, you get better at some of those key things, then you get promoted. And by promoted, I mean you get more responsibilities at home, right? And with that promotion, now I got to learn a bunch of new stuff as well. So at least from my head, that's how I frame new things. Even like working from home was like space was a different thing too, right? Now everyone's in everyone's space. And so treating it kind of like, okay, this is just a new quote unquote career path. And so how would I approach that? With Travis's famous words like loose hands, right? Giving myself grace, knowing that, hey, I want this job, I want this title, I want to be this person. But right now, it's going to be a lot of emulating and trying things out until I get there. And it may not be I'm stepping into the role of someone who is versed in this role. Now, did that person have to learn along the way? Yeah, but it's kind of like at any job standing into a managerial role. The previous manager had years of experience being a manager too, right? So I might be a good fit in the future, but right now I'm still learning that role.
I
So that's
like
at
this
least for me.
metaphor.
That's kind of how I've seen you grown in this position. So
Yeah, I very much appreciate this metaphor because Now, here's the thing, right? You're kind of touching on that, I think, at the end, if I hear you right.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. You are stepping into, say you went, you're going to become an accountant
Mhm.
and you went to school for biology, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, now I'm going to be an accountant. The thing that makes it more hard is it's not.
It's a
Yeah,
self-study accounting
no,
class,
no, here,
right?
here. I don't want to. Okay, okay. I have to preface this with, um, none of this is any.
I
I'm
know what you're
trying to
gonna say,
get
and I
myself out
agree.
of.
It's
I'm
not
not
a
trying to
take.
throw them under the bus.
No, no, no,
I
no,
am
no, no,
not
no.
trying to throw my wife under the bus. Okay,
No.
so with that in mind, it's like you're becoming an accountant next to someone who wants the job as well and is an accountant and went to school to be an accountant and is a
Mhm,
professional accountant. So
mhm,
that accountant does not get the job and you get the job and
mhm.
you have to become an accountant and they get to see you do that every single day
Yep.
for forever.
But but that accountant's also gonna transfer a lot of their experience and their knowledge to you as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
yes.
there's that as
So
well.
that's great. Yep, yep. And so a learning curve, I would say that we've had
Yes.
has been, right? It's not just like this is where the metaphor falls to pieces because it's not just right. It's not just a job. It's not an 8 to 5 or
And
whatever.
yeah, yeah. No, 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 no.
It's a 9 to 5. It is a uh all hands on deck all the time theme park,
No paid
carnival.
time off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so the growing pains are that
Mhm,
in the midst of all of the chaos of the job, um, you have to learn with your spouse, like,
mhm,
how to push on towards a goal, and also
mhm.
to have the loose hands to relinquish control of certain goals, right?
Yes, yes.
And so
And I think
that is the root. I think that is the root of the thing that makes it the most difficult, but then also the
yes,
most rewarding it can be,
yes.
right? And so this is where
For
we
all
will butt
parties
heads.
involved, for all parties
Yes,
involved.
yes. And I wanna be real. This is the dads in real life, you know? I wanna
Yeah.
talk about it straightforward.
Mhm,
And this is like where I think that is the root of where most of our like conflict, kind of like talking late into the night comes
yeah,
from,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is there are certain things that one of us wants to hold on to or one of us wants to let go of, and we don't agree on
Yeah.
those things. And so, um, I guess, like, I'm here I am, I'm basically trying to explain my, experience, but then also kinda just give pro tips of, like, what have I learned along the way thus far?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I
you
think
know
I think we I think you shared your experience, and I think you've been tap dancing very well, sir, around the challenges of not only the new role, but the communication, the relationship with your spouse in this. Because I mean, we've had our versions of this as well, where it's like expectations are different, protocols are different, but as long as the outcome we can agree upon, then we can agree to move forward on it, kind of a thing, right? So, if dinner on the table is the outcome we're looking for, then yeah, it might have looked like I blew up the kitchen, but I will clean it up after dinner, right? So, because it doesn't look like how someone else or my spouse would prepare dinner, because I'm new at this, right? Over time, does it become streamlined? Yeah. Do I start asking the girls to help wash some dishes? Yeah, but you learn on the job. It's definitely a learning on the job thing, right? So,
Yes, 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 and I think that's where if you are the person who is the professional and you're
mhm.
watching the other one who is not the professional do the something, number 1, I'm sure that's extremely hard to do,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
You're like, "This is so easy. Why is
Mhm.
this so hard?" You know?
It's like
Um,
watching your toddler be the lead role of a play, and they're just like tanking. You're like, oh, I'm so proud of you, but I know this is not working
I'd say it's
very
like
well.
watching your toddler put clothes on and you're like, "Just put your feet
Just
through the pants."
that's a shirt. Put your feet through the pants, not the shirt.
Yes.
No, you can't go out with four of those. No, right? Yeah, and so
Yes, yes. So you gotta let the other person fail, you know, that's
yes,
been, something that we've talked about, like, in my sense, I've been like, Yeah, Deb, you gotta let me do this wrong a few times
Mhm,
because then I'll lock it in, right?
mhm.
And I think that's helped, like, pro tip, I sometimes, like, she has a work conference or she's gotta go somewhere, and what I've found recently is, like, "Hey, I'm gonna try a lot of those things," then she doesn't even need to experience the
She
pain
won't
that is
witness it,
watching me try and
right?
make a meal or whatever, Yeah.
Exactly.
So, um, I'm like, "You should go more often," like, let me trial under fire, I still
Exactly,
love you and I miss you, but
exactly.
also,
We'll
this is
we'll
good for me.
FaceTime you on the clean portion of the house, don't worry about it.
Right? For the sake of
Just for
her
her nerves more than
yes.
anything, right? Yeah.
But then, yeah, also, something that I realized I, didn't step up to the plate and I think I've talked about this in past podcasts, right? Like, discipline does not come naturally to me, it's passivity that does, and that's
Yeah.
not what I want, right? If I could go back and do it again, I would be a lot more and I know this sounds like such a dad thing to say, right? Like,
Mhm,
I'll be a lot more disciplined. Like, I would I would step into the time slots that are available to like make more progress rather than wasting away a lot of that. I think like mine is the challenge was I'm too distracted, right? And so I
mhm,
made up all these excuses like, "Oh, I don't have the time," or "I don't have this and that." No, 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 no. I was just filling the time with things that were not valuable to me.
mhm.
So,
But I think you
now
learn that through doing that, right? I think
yeah,
you learn that through awareness and the relationship and the communication with your spouse, or else, like, if you never had that reflection, right, talk, then you would never know, like, "Oh my goodness, I am spending way too much time down this rabbit hole, which is not part of my daily responsibilities." Right. And so I think we all go through that, especially with like a newborn, your first kid, where we're all just kind of, I have no idea what I'm doing. As parents, right? Your first time being called parent. And so expand that over to years of having multiples. And so, yeah, I think it's a learning on the job. I think having grace for yourself. And I think we all get better at something we do daily, right? That's just a matter of fact. So kudos
yeah.
to you, Travis. Great job being dad, and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So,
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we're it's just a constant work in progress. But, also shout out to
hey,
Deb for having the patience to
I was gonna
just,
say, yep.
put up with me, and all of these, shortcomings. But
Hey,
here
you
we
but
are.
you know what?
That's
We've
life.
we've talked about this before. I think when you find your spouse, and we've talked about like how we met each other's spouse and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think it's more, and this is something that we share with the girls because they're starting to talk and watch shows and stuff like that. And we always reiterate like you want to choose someone that you can grow and go through hard things with, right? Like someone who's willing to do the hard stuff and realize that there's going to be a bajillion mistakes and still wants to work through the hard stuff. And I think that's what you and Deb have. And
yeah.
so when it comes to something like this, is it hard? Yeah, but we've agreed to walk through hard stuff together. Right?
Yep. Yep. Yup. That's it. That's it right there.
Oh, by the way, we need that T-shirt. Work in progress, dads in real life. Like, there's your T-shirt. Right,
Oh my goodness. Just dads in real life on the front, work
and
in
on the
progress
back,
on the back.
work in progress. That's it.
Oh, coming to the swag and
Shop thing.
wagon near
Yep.
you.
There you go.
I don't know why I call it that. I just think it sounds rolls off the tongue. Sorry, sorry.
I apologize to everyone listening.
Yeah, see, I think, you know, it's great. My friends know me well enough, right? So they're like,
Mhm.
this is not new. If they're when they're listening to this.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like maybe some of your friends that are listening, they're like, this Travis guy is unhinged.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
Sorry,
not
Rob,
at all.
friends.
Not at all. Not at all.
I
My
have
friends
Rob to
don't listen to the
balance me
podcast.
out. I did wanna ask you,
Yeah.
are there and maybe it's not yeah, yeah. Is there anything that is quote unquote role specific that you guys have had to switch in a season or potentially something that you just had to like pull up and do for a while because of some circumstance or another? What was that? Was that a challenge? How did you go through that?
It's definitely going to be a challenge anytime that you roll switch or help out. So I went from working at a location brick and mortar where a majority of the responsibility around the home was given to Mo, right? Like that was the role. And then once we had kids, the catch 22 was that as an entrepreneur, your hours are not 9 to 5, right? Your hours are all day, every day. And so, unfortunately, at that time, being kind of single focused, all with right intentions, a lot of that was on her shoulders, but she was also working at that time. So the discussion was like, hey, some things have to change. I need some help doing this. So it's not so much roles as in like washing dishes or folding laundry. What it came down to was sharing responsibilities without expectations of the outcome being the same. That was the hardest part in the beginning. So, for an example, would be like, hey, can you help me do XYZ? My answer is always going to be yes. But on my dad brain, I still am working through my daily checklist of to dos. I still have work, right? I still have clients. And so going through that, the responsibility priority of doing what she would like fell under the list that I had. And
Mm,
so I quickly understood that for the harmony of this relationship and for us all working within a household, like the family priorities need to be intertwined into my daily priorities, right? Not one's more important than the other. And you mentioned like work blocks, when are you more productive? So it took time, but then we figured out what's the best time of day for me to do work, aka outward facing outside the house. And then what are parts of the days that I could focus on doing internal work, be it my role or my job, like washing the dishes or doing the laundry, so that expectations may not have been met all the time, but at least the outcomes, the productivity of doing that task, so that dishes don't pile up, so that the kids have laundry over the weekend, so that we're not dropping the ball on groceries. So what most people might see as kind of monotonous like home checklist things, as soon as I realized how important that was for her, not safety, but for her mental, like just ease, right? The fact that I saw what she needed help with as being important, as important to her that it is for me, my important stuff. Then what happens is, one, those things get done as part of a higher priority thing because I rank my lists of what's higher priority or not. And two, a lot of that stuff takes very little time. But because I procrastinated and I didn't think it was as important in the beginning as the things I needed, in air quotes, to do, a lot of our discussions was the fact that I was dropping the ball because I was always like, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it the next day. And then the kids don't have lunches packed. We need to do late night Ralph's run. And then all of this could have been preemptively taken care of if I just realized how important it was for the ecosystem of our home, right? And because I was not home as much in the beginning, I didn't. That's just laundry. Like, how important is laundry, right? Now that I'm at home, it's like, oh, we do laundry every day, right? It's the lifeblood of our house. And so I think as a dad, as a man, being able to be have that awareness, be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Apparently, is not working. Like I'm trying to help, but what it was I was not prioritizing on my list how important it was for her. And so as soon as I realized that, communication got better, things got done smoother, right? And then the expectations on me doing it exactly like XYZ were not important anymore, right? Because it was more of being seen, being heard, understanding the importance that I could relate to, right? Because even in the job force, like, hey, if I need this to be done and I need an employee or someone to do it, I need it to be done sooner than later. It doesn't go on a to-do list. Like, we need to do this now. And so treating it like that has helped the transition from working from home become a lot smoother. So I know I kind of rambled a little bit, but hopefully that makes sense. It's less of the actual job title and it's more understanding where it fits on the priority list for both of us.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I'm tracking. And to tag on to that, to
Please.
piggyback off of that, I would say, in my opinion, that
Mhm.
the most emotionally mature or like in a spirit of uh like servant leadership,
Mhm.
the way that you can also love your wife in those things that are hard to do or that you don't see as important is don't don't shut down when the feedback comes back and it's not good, right? I think we also as guys can tend to go, I just gave this my best effort and she's saying it's all wrong or like I did it,
Mhm.
like the thing that you need to do, just like you would do in your professional career, is
Yep.
take that feedback and go, I hear you, like you said, like to listen and to
Mhm.
respond in a way that goes, okay, we'll try this again, and keep trying again and figure out what the priority is, like you said, and s- meet it eventually,
Mhm.
with attempts. Um, and as long,
And you
I
will. You
as
will.
long as she sees that you hear that and that you are attempting that and that you are showing progress, just like you would in any job, right? You're like, hey,
Mhm.
I am showing progress in this. Like you're gonna get there,
Yeah.
and and then you're gonna be better for it. Yeah,
Wise words from a wise man.
I noticed like I think it's harder for us as guys to come to the table and to get news and not to like kind of just yeah, to just go inward, right?
And
To be like, "Oh, no, nobody appreciates me or nobody or like she doesn't see that we don't do as well at communicating generally speaking, right?
yeah,
Generally speaking.
100%, 100%.
So, what we need to do is try and speak those words, communicate
Mhm.
what your efforts are, that you are continuing to try, but also what like wives, it might it's probably gonna take us quite a few times, so
Yeah,
give us
quite a few
some
times.
grace and,
Yeah.
let us so yeah, thankfully, Deb's like, "Yep, 4th time's a charm," Like, we we're
Could have been the 40th time, right? So
Yep,
4th time's not too bad.
yep. So, what perspective, Rob? Thanks for that. Yep, could have been 40. Dinner, me making dinner, yeah, we're getting nearing 40th attempt on that, yeah.
Hey, but knock down the 40th time, you stand up the 41st, so
There
you're
you go,
doing well.
there you go, and one thing at a time, right? It's
Mhm.
hard for us there was a book a long time ago, it's just like women have spaghetti brains and guys are like boxes, like, we gotta shift from one gear to another, like, we're not in all
Mhm.
the gears at once. That's how the female
Yes.
brain works, it's just like this web
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
like, everywhere all at once. That's not
There's a
how the
bunch of
brain
berry markers. Mhm.
Yeah, um, just again, communicate like, "Hey, I'm in this space. This is what I'm trying to do." And then also, I understand, I have it written down, maybe.
Mhm.
Uh, these are
Maybe.
the other things on the list, right? We got a
Yeah.
list. Lists are important. And
Mhm.
there we go. So I'm gonna digress if I go any farther on that. And you gotta go get things done. So we're gonna cut it there, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of good stuff for the next couple,
Awesome.
episodes as far as, the snacks go, so I'll bring
Awesome.
the snacks, we'll have some fun, and,
As we always do.
we are still, looking for feedback on the, stress episode. If you haven't
Mhm.
listened to it, go listen to it, and
Mhm.
also
I will link that somewhere over here. Yep.
send us your responses, and if you don't know what we're
Yeah.
talking about, check it out on the
If Plus,
episode.
this is the last thing I wanna say. If you're
Yeah,
watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on whatever you're listening to, please subscribe. One of the things I shared with Travis the other day is, like, we've had 70,000 views, right? Like, let's say on our YouTube channel, and maybe a small 0.01% subscribing, and the subscribing helps us. So what does it do is it puts us in front of other parents, right? So if you're liking the content, if you're even, like, still on the fence of it, just subscribe. And we have a community online through the YouTube. We share some of our insights, we share polls, and that's how we get your input into future episodes. So we want to know your opinion. We want to share. It's not just two dads in real life, it's all of us in real life. So as this community builds, we want to be sharing systems and tools and anecdotes and laughter, right? And challenges with each other. And to do that, we need to speak up. We need to share. So head on over to our YouTube, leave comments on our Spotify, engage with us because we want to engage with you.
absolutely. The more guys, the merrier. The more people, the merrier,
Oh, for sure.
I keep on obviously the shout out is to the dads, but I know there are a lot of wives listening out there. I know
Hey,
there
hashtag
are
parenting podcast. That's what we are, right?
yeah. Yeah. So, you guys do what Rob tells you. You're always better for it. And like we always say, we are not professionals.
No, we're not gurus. We're just two
We are just
dads
two
in real life.
dads in real life. Hey everyone.
Thanks again for joining us.
We started Dads in Real Life simply as an excuse to hang out.
That quickly evolved into a desire to bring parents,
especially dads,
together in community through sharing stories, experience, laughs, and more.
We also wanted a podcast you could listen to and enjoy at any point in your day.
Even when the kids are in the car.
Want to take us on your next road trip?
You can find us on Spotify and iTunes as well.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to get this show in front of more parents like yourself.
Until next time.
We'll see you in real life.